Good evening, everybody. Good evening to the world, and welcome to the Evening with the Authors, main competition program number 2. We are going live from the Animateka online studio in this snowy Šiška district, Ljubljana, Slovenia. I'm Igor Prassel, Festival Program Director, and this session will be co-hosted by my colleague Chris Robinson, live from his home office in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Hello, Chris.
Hello, very nice.
How are you doing?
Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, you got it all.
Yes. Okay, with us we have 4 authors tonight, so we'll have plenty of time to talk with them. I'm saying hello to Leo Černic, that is joining from Torino, Italy. Hello, Leo.
Hello to everyone.
I'm saluting Marko Dješka, joining from Zagreb, Croatia. And with us, Vessela Dantcheva, she's in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Hi.
And last but not least, Palibrk joining from Belgrade, Serbia, or maybe he's on some island in the Pacific Ocean. Okay, so you are all welcome to ask questions. So everybody who is following us live now, maybe prepare your questions, and at the end we will serve them to the authors present. Chris, I would start, if it's okay with you, and I would start with Leo Černic, the author of the film The War of the Words, or The Respectful Silence, Vojna besed ali spoštljiva tišina, guerra di parole e rispettoso silenzio. Leo Černic Cino, born 1995, is an Italian-Slovenian author of small animated works. He graduated in film and television directing at the Academy of Theatre, Radio, Film and Television in Ljubljana, and he's currently studying animation at the Experimental Center of Cinematography in Turin, Italy. He made 2 films until now, Bordered and Dance of Love. Cino, this is your biography that you sent to us, so you declared yourself as an author of small animated works. Actually, it's a very nice one. But I would ask you immediately, how can you explain how this project started, this particular one, co-produced by Kino Atelier in Nova Gorica, Slovenia, and Gorizia, Italy? Was it in a way a commissioned film?
Yes, it was. This wasn't my idea for a project like I want to make a film. I work with Kino Atelier, which is a company that we make educational programs with children's, and we experiment with cinema, animation, and other things. So it was like a promo trailer for another educational program like this. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, your career in animation started only 2 years ago when you were the first student at the Ljubljana Film Academy to graduate with an animated film in history, first in history. Now you are specializing animation in Torino. What made you fall in love with animation? What can you tell with animation that you could not with documentary or fiction?
Maybe it sounds like rhetoric, but all. Like it is, I fell in love with animation with my first film, Bordered, which is like a documentary animated film, like a hybrid. So in this moment, I experiment like with cutout stop motion animation, and I found this possibility to tell something that you can't with live action film. So in this moment, I understood that okay, live action, I put it like in a corner.
Yeah.
Yes, and I started to understand and to experiment and to watch animated films in another way. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the possibility to make everything you can't in live action film and in the real world.
Chris?
Well, I don't know if any of my questions are relevant anymore because I had no idea this was commissioned film. Okay, just to go back to that, what was the commission? What was the message? What was the audience supposed to be for this?
Yes, it was an educational program in which children from the high schools, so not children, like big boys and girls, try to understood the history of our places. Where I live near Trieste, so we had a really strong history in the two World War and all the fascism story and these kind of things. So with this program, we tried to learn the history and try to applicate this history in our days. So it was like the main objective. I don't know how to tell in English.
Objective,
yeah.
Yes, the first, like to understood history and to make it actual. Yes.
Wow, that's so far removed from what I saw in the film. I saw this as a film where, you know, somebody's living in some shitty world, and oh, sorry, I didn't mean to swear, kids. And they're hiding through their art or something, and then in the end, the art really doesn't. It still kind of blows up, and they can't escape reality. Maybe there's a film there, small film.
No, but if I understand correctly, Leo, you just you were giving like some guidelines, but then they let you to do it just by your own. Huh? You had to apply your own ideas.
It was totally free, like the technique and the story. Like I had a team like this. You have to learn from history and from books and these kind of things. So
more than a commissioned film, we should call it educational short animation, right? Yeah. But Chris, did you find some more elements there for like to make it a bigger film? If Leo is talking about small films.
Well, sure. I don't know. You know, even the hand drawing, I looked at it and thought, wow, it's got this frantic, anxious energy that captures. I mean, it fits this time too, where we're all just. So, you know, I saw a totally different film, maybe, I don't know, or I just created one in my head. Maybe I was like just looking down into something. But how much did you have to go back and forth with other people interfering with the idea, or just once it was assigned, you were free? Or
no, it was okay. It was free, but it is like a collaboration. We are a kind of collective, so we work together. I made the animation and all the things, but it was constantly feedbacks with the commitment. I don't know how to say. Sorry for my English; it's terrible, but yes.
But how was that experience? Because I would assume, I mean, I don't know if you've made one other work, you probably haven't had that much experience. Maybe collaborating. How challenging or welcoming was that to?
Okay, but I like this kind of work with this kind of people. So because this is like a commission, but they told me like the theme. So I had the totally artistic freedom to treat this theme in my way. So it wasn't so painful in this way. Yes, it was cool.
And where would people see this? Like have access to the film outside of festivals?
Yes. For first, with children's, we watch this film and we talk about it, and it was like an input for all these projects they are making now in this period. And it is also like an internet promo video for these educational programs.
So you got did you get like direct feedback from the kids?
Yes.
And how was that?
It was so cool, but it wasn't so cool because I was alone in the cinema with all of these people, and I made this film for them in a kind of way. And yes, everyone understood in his way or her way, and this was so good to hear all the opinions, because all of them watched this film in this personal way. So yes, it was cool, so educational also for me, because yes, maybe someone did not understood in a correct, I don't know, I don't like this word, but like in the way I'd like to tell this story. But yes, it was so good to hear the direct position of all these people.
Chino, I think it's a very nice that you are using traditional drone animation on paper, and actually I think you are strong at that. But on the other hand, I think that your visual style is very close to the style of Italian animator Donato Sansone. Are you aware of this?
No.
Come on, I think so. I mean,
no, aware. Okay, maybe I did not understand the word aware. What does it mean?
If you are aware that you are kind of close also with the metamorphing
Yes,
of the characters of the, so it's something that he is doing in a master way. But I'm not saying that you are copying him, that you are just affected somehow probably.
Yes,
is he like a source?
In a way, I totally appreciate Donato Sansone work. Because of this experimenting and all this, okay, metaphor, but the approach, I totally like this kind of curious approach to animation. And yes, maybe, yes, I also find some similar things. Maybe this kind of drawing that's not so clear, and yes, this metamorphosis. Yes.
Yeah. Your drawing thing, it's like, because I know that 2 years ago when you finished this diploma film, it was because of Špela Čadež being your mentor as well, and she guided you and she actually gave you courage and say like, this is good. But now in Torino, it seems like you are drawing even more, and you will stay with this traditional technique, or are you thinking to use something else as well in the future?
Okay, maybe I changed in a way my style of drawing, if I can name it like a style, but I'm totally affected to this so vibrant, I don't know if this word exists, drawing, because it gives me like life, animation. I feel that something happens when I see this flickering and this kind of drawing and animation. So yes, I'm affected to this. I like it because it's animated.
Can you tell us maybe what's next? Is there like a film that you have to make in Torino, like for the school that you are currently working on?
Now I will make, from January, we are making diploma films. So I don't know how it will develop because it's not January now. So yes, from January we start to make diploma films.
And you don't want to talk about the story?
Okay. I have some ideas, but we have to discuss with mentors. So I don't know if I can to do some ideas. I like superheroes, like loser superheroes. I like beers, but yes, I don't. This is all I can say.
Okay, Chris, maybe a last one.
Did you say beers or bears?
Bears.
I understood beers.
I think there's a great loser superheroes, some beer, and evil bears. There's your story.
Okay, Chino, thank you very much for this. Stay with us, because maybe at the end we get some more questions, and we go to Croatia, to Marko Dješka. Marko Dješka is a director of animated films and comic book author. His student films Slaughter from 2010 and Satan's Son from 2012 have won awards at numerous festivals. In 2016, he won the Octavian Criticism Award, is a Croatian national award, for his first professional film, The City of Ghosts. And you are here with us tonight with your film All Those Sensations in My Belly, Sve te senzacije u mom trbuhu. It's an animated documentary film, and I'm interested to understand what was your personal interest in portraying the story of Matija and Ana, actually the transitioning from male gender to female gender, with Matija struggling to find a sincere, intimate relationship with a heterosexual male inside him. Not inside him, but yeah, outside in the world.
Yes, actually, yeah, you said it, Matija and Ana, but it's one person. It's like Matija Ana. It's like a common name, right? Like Croatian name, let's say. So it doesn't have anything to do with changing gender. But I don't know. Like when I did these 3 films after the Ghost Town, I was thinking about what to do next. And in general, I think that politic situation in Croatia, in terms where our society goes with, like problems regarding rights of human, like women rights, LGBT rights, majority rights, which is like problematic because of the, like church and politicians and stuff. I decided that I need to deal with this subject, and I decided for transgender because it's taboo in our society, most of any others. So I decided actually to have a protagonist of my film, like transgender girl from Zagreb, and to tell the story. Yeah.
So that was your interest, and then actually you met the real person, Matija.
Yeah.
So how much was him, her?
Her. You always need to say her.
Okay, I'm sorry, because this is its political correctness, and we have to respect that, and we have to use the right words. So how much was she involved in the process of script writing, or like in the whole process of filmmaking? Because actually you were filming her, you were having her as your direct source, right?
Yeah, but I didn't have precise plan how much she will be involved. But at the beginning, it was very interesting because she came to the first interview with the phone, and she had like the whole biography written in around like 10 pages in Word documents, for example. And she read the whole biography in her phone because she wanted to be part of the film. She wanted to be inspired with her life, and it was so interesting. So she gave me a lot of material actually, and we went through several interviews. And so we slowly, through time, through this 1 year of research, we slowly like kind of start to reduce the story, because there is no need for so much narration in animation, So you need to leave space for visuals. So that was the process. Let's say for the first stage.
You had sessions with her where you would record only the voice, or you would use also video references for later?
No, only the voice. We were just hanging, and she would just talk on the microphone, and then we were just recording it and then cleaning it later in the studio with my producer and friends. We were just talking which part of her life is the most important, and the first idea is to talk actually about changing the gender, which many people are familiar with. But afterwards, it becomes actually the problem of her finding a love relationship with like normal heterosexual partners. So with time, actually, it becomes a love story. So this transition to gender is actually more like some kind of plot or backstory, So maybe I spoiled the film a little bit, but I think that's the main point for everybody who watched the film.
Chris?
Did when it came to finding the subject, was this somebody you knew all along, or did you talk to different people, or how did you settle on this woman?
At the beginning, I did several interviews, but I was searching for somebody who will be, like extrovert and appealing for animation, somebody who wants to be in animated film. And that was the hardest part, you know. Everybody had an interesting life story or something to tell, but it was really hard to find somebody who will be perfect match for this medium, you know, like animation.
And somebody who would show up with 10 pages of
and also
content.
that was actually not so necessary, at least at the beginning, but she did it. But in general, yes, exactly. It has to be somebody who really wanted to do that.
What about your experience going through this, you know, the before and after? Did you come away with some new awareness, or
Yeah,
maybe,
of course.
you know?
I was thinking about that. I knew everything, and that I'm really open. But actually, I also did the same things with saying that she's him, and I also learned about that how to use this he, she, and all this stuff, gender pronouncement, or how to say it in English. I'm a little bit confused. And I learned a lot of actually about their struggle to find normal relationships. And that was something I didn't think about, because since she is a girl, she can be in a relationship only with heterosexual men. And it becomes a problem because most of the heterosexual men, they are fetishists if they like to be with transgender of a girl. So that's a big problem to her. And this is something that become very interesting, I think, to talk about in the film.
What has been the reaction? I mean, I don't know what's going on in other parts, but in North America, this is a big issue. It's talked about a lot more, maybe a little bit more accepted. I don't know. But have you gotten reactions, positive, negative?
On the film?
Yeah.
But actually, the film is, right now, I think it's 6 festivals maybe, and one festival is Outstream Festival in Florida, but I don't know much about reaction, except except the prizes. For example, it was premiered in Kosovo. In Kosovo, I won the prize for the best Balkan film, and I won a special mention in AnimaFest. So I guess that people like it in that way of being like short festival film.
But actually, you didn't have a chance to have a premiere in Croatia together with her that would be publicly presented, or was the Croatian media talking about it in a critical way, or just mentioning it?
Actually, everybody got some positive feedbacks in media, interviews, newspaper, if somebody talks about it, and didn't get any bad feedback. Also, it was a part of Gay Pride in Zagreb. It was actually premiered in Croatia during the Pride, and before AnimaFest, and everybody was perfect. So
I think what really elevates the film too is I think it goes beyond, even if you're not trans, you don't know this community. I think a lot of people can relate to the story, to finding somebody to love. I mean, the message is at the end where she just decides, well, I'm going to be whoever the fuck I want to be, and you know.
Yeah, that's the most interesting part, because she's actually dealing with problems we all have actually, but her problem is even more awful. So when you watch, when you compare yourself with her, with your situation, you can see, you know, like what these people are dealing with. Except not only being accepted by societies or families, and that was the most interesting part for me, and I hope that everybody will recognize it also.
Well, there's a good philosophy, like surround yourself with nice people.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Marko, I think that actually you managed to detabooize, or what's the word in English? We have Chris there to help maybe with those missing words. But I think with your film, like you put like a stone in like detabooizing this subject, which is really important, and I hope it will be seen also like by, I don't know, like high school groups or something like this in the future. I think the film is not only living now for 2 years as it's the usual, like in the festival circuit, but it has its life in the future as well. Can we spend, Chris, maybe a word or two about the drawing style and the graphic part? Do you have any question about this, Chris?
No, all mine was about the content.
Okay, maybe I just say that also it's a co-production with Portugal, Marko, no?
Yes, that's important.
How have you divided the work between Croatia and Portugal?
Yeah, but the first idea is that they did animation part, but unfortunately this COVID starts and everything. It was they didn't get enough amount of money, but they did get enough money to cover the cost of Foley's and music. So I decided just to find some technical. There is two songs, and there is one song is bought by Danish Sophie Bish. She's a musician from Denmark, and one song is from this techno. DJ from Portugal and the Foley. So that was covered with Pop Animation Studio.
Okay, you changed a little bit also your drawing style for this film specifically. It's more like thin lines and it's more kind of like flat figures. Usually, I remember your Saturn Sun. It's really vivid and full of colors, and I mean colors here as well. But so this have to do also with a rational decision, or?
Yes, because all the previous films I did animation and design, but this time I decided not to do neither animation, neither design, because I have this more comic-like style, because I do comics, and this film is more, I wanted to make a film which would be more poetic, more, how to say, it needs to be done by somebody else. And I wanted to get that experience. And then I started collaboration with Hana Tintor, who is like also amazing illustrator from Croatia, and she did design and animation. I did a little bit animation. And yeah, she was kind of art director of the film, basically, not kind of. Yeah, so it was a big, actually, I can be thankful to Hana Tintor mostly for what you can see in the film.
Okay, that's also great to start like collaborations like this, and not having like the animator as a director that wants to do it all and has to do it all, but it's good to divide work when this is possible, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah,
I saw Kintis's name in there as an art advisor. What did she bring to the mix?
But in the studio, we had this politics that we all contribute to each self's film. So we are like gathering, and then we are watching the films in project, in work in progress, and then we give feedbacks. And Kittis was the one who was always coming and giving a lot of feedbacks, and from the first day till the last day. So she was like one of the main persons to put like, she helped me a lot, I mean, in general, with feedbacks. And
so we have to say that actually it's Adriatic Animation, the company that you are co-owning and co-founded with Draško Ivzic. And so this story that you are all collaborating in the studio like reminds me about the golden years of Zagreb film, when everybody was helping each other there, and they were going to have like spritz drinks after the work, and they were discussing new projects. So it's kind of this collaborative way that probably is there in your studio. You have even young producers now starting new projects. So I think it's a very good way to do it, like being together and helping each other, but then also like everybody working on its own projects really seriously. What's next for you, Marko? Is there already a next, or you will take a little pause after this one?
Yeah, but I will take some break from animation, even though I do have some idea for the film, but now I will do my comics, and I do have also obligation to studio to finish some animation part of David Lovich's film, upcoming film for the next year. So we do have a lot of things to do before I apply with a new project.
Okay. Thank you, Marko. We are exactly at the half of the session, so I will say cheers with the rakia homemade from Serbia, courtesy of Rasko Čirić, and this is good for disinfecting ourselves as well. Cheers. Na zdravje.
I will cook my rakia, but it's not from Serbia.
Well, good rakia, it doesn't matter where it comes. If it's good, if it's homemade, it's always good, right? Yeah. Okay, so we continue. Vessela, hello. I will read your biography. Vessela Dantcheva is a director, producer, and creative power in Kompot Collective Production Studio. She is part of some of the most popular Bulgarian contemporary animated films in the last 12 years. Her filmography includes several internationally awarded films as Anna Blume, Father, and Traveling Country. I hope I mean, your one is really professional and as it should be, because you are acting sometimes as a producer, usually as well. So it's like you are more aware of this presenting yourself properly to the audience.
Yeah, I also kind of, gained some age. So I kind of, did my biography over and over again.
Very good. So hierarchy glitch. This project, it's part of something much bigger. Actually, it's called Happiness Machine to the Common Good. And in a way, it's again a commissioned project, if I'm not wrong, matching female contemporary music composers with female animation directors. 20 women artists were involved to team up with 10 animator-composer pairs and create works inspired by the concept of the common good economy. Can you explain who and why and what started it and how did you get involved in this project?
Yes, of course. What you're reading actually is the summing of the project after the project was done. A lot of it's true from the very beginning, but a lot of it came as a, Happiness Machine was the name, not from the beginning, but actually it came at the end as a sort of anthology. This project was very interesting. I don't know, if you're aware of this, how shall I say, social model, like the economy for the common good. It's something that exists since something like 10 years. It originates from Austria, and it's a economy model. So for big companies, if they can prove that they're common good companies, they get a lot of deduction from taxes and stuff like that. So it's not only an idea, but it's also well integrated in their politics or economics, let's say. I guess some parts of Italy are also using it, and North Italy, some parts from Germany. So apart from the classical music, this was the new thing that Austria was kind of proud of and wanted to, to share with the rest of the world. So it started all from a manager of an orchestra, contemporary orchestra called the Klank Forum Orchestra. Mm-hmm. They wanted to make a film about this theme, about the common good. And big part for us to be female directors, to be invited there, to be approached, is actually the whole theme of the Tricky Women Festival. Because when the orchestra communicated the idea with Tricky Women, with the director of Tricky Women, they said, but better, not make a feature film, but get 10 artists, of course, female, and give them the freedom to work on and the interpretation of that idea. So we were put in that project and scouted and chosen from different countries by Valtra from Tricky Women. And actually, she managed to, to put us in a good conditions, to explain that animation is not cheap. So we were pretty much secure. The budget she explained. So we were actually given some amount of money, 6 minutes duration or more, and full freedom on that concept,
Mm-hmm. Was she matching you with composers as well, or how
I think this was done by the orchestra, and this was done not by our choice. And I think in a lot of our matches, it worked very well. My collaborator was, her name is Electric Indigo. She's quite popular DJ. She comes, she's not really a composer, but she's an electronic creator of music, let's say. So with our team, everything went perfect, I guess, with most of the other couples as well. But we were a nice, quite interesting and diverse bunch of directors like Elizabeth Hobbs, Michelle Cranot, Anna Nedeljković, Samantha Moore, myself, and 10 in total. I think there are beautiful pieces of of the take of the the economy of the common good. I don't think that it works perfectly well as a total, as a anthology film, let's say, but it works very well as combined with the live music, because that was the initial idea, these animated pieces to be as a background, and the music composed by the composers for the pieces to be actually played live by the orchestra. So we had, in a way, it was a nice and luxurious experiment, because the music that you hear with the film, it's written by Electric Indigo, but then recorded by the orchestra in a very beautiful, professional, big recording place. We were invited to be there and then to go for the mix to Vienna. So it was a lot of traveling for me, Sofia, Vienna, which was kind of, nice.
Okay, Vessela, how much have you enjoyed working with abstract forms, if you compare it with your previous, more classical narrative films, if we could say? I mean, there is always some experimental part with your style, with your way of making, but if you compare it with this film, it's complete abstract, and the others, we can call them classical narrative films, maybe.
I must say a lot. And I was just wondering why I didn't do more abstract things before. I think I'll not for sure stay only in that direction, but I'll definitely, experiment more with that. It's really nice, because it's much more intuitive. It's like you can always find a story and a narration and a dramaturgy, but you're free in shapes and colors, in rhythm. So for me, it's a good direction.
Mm-hmm. Chris?
I feel like I asked you everything a few months ago.
Yes, but I didn't have that, digital background glitching.
Just to go back to the project, like, were you just invited and then you're in, or did you have to send in a pitch with some idea?
I think we were pretty much picked by tricky women, and when for the first time we went to Vienna, of course we needed to prepare, we needed to come with an idea. So we had the directors, the visual style, we had an idea already when we were introduced to the composer. So that gave a little bit of feeling, if we're gonna do it 50-50, why they already know their conditions and their stories, why we were introduced on later stage for the composers. My idea was very free. So in that sense, I was maybe a little bit more experimental from the beginning, or you might say lazier, because I came with the idea that I want to use the common good model for me working with a composer. So I started, my whole concept was that I didn't pitch anything, any story in concrete, but I said I want to see what kind of instruments she will use, and then maybe give a different color to the instruments and try to play with that. So,
and you said the musicians chose which artists they were going to work with?
No, Chris, it's Waltraud Grasgruber from Tricky Women. She was matching. Probably. I mean, she
chose us, and the orchestra, who is actually this piece is produced. The main idea is produced by an orchestra, by a contemporary orchestra called the Klangforum Wien. They matched us with the different composers, which were also from basically different places around the world. Yes, my composer was Austrian, but all the others were very much different.
Actually, but they matched it based on your idea.
Yes.
That you had, not just, okay, let's just put these two together.
I think they matched us based on our ideas, but that were not people who can read films, They matched us from musical points, seeing few pictures that we sent, and maybe a synopsis.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
For me, they did a pretty good match. I mean,
You used to make the film like mixed techniques, cutout, hand-drawn animation, and 2D animation. Also, this was a nice thing, because usually you're not so much mixing techniques, right? When you're doing.
Yeah, I'm starting now. I'm kind of tired of everything being done in the computer. So in this film, because, you know, everything with the squares and the lines is very simple. All this net and the matrix, I wanted to search for a little bit different life. So basically the squares are torn up squares from paper that I shot under the camera. The lines are digitally added, and then the background is painted, which I applied also afterwards. But it was a nice process. I play with the animation digitally before, so I didn't invent everything under the camera. I had a reference.
Did you, you're talking about how you were doing more classical narrative work before. Did you know from the beginning that you're going to take a more abstract route, or did you find that did you have some other ideas?
For that project, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I wanted to dive pretty much abstract. That's why my idea was not, you know, searching a subject, as maybe if you've seen the other films, there is an interpretation of a fairy tale by Elizabeth Hobbs. There is some more to the economy point themes, let's say, while here, I guess it's really, I knew that I'll go abstract.
Can I maybe maybe I'm completely wrong, but you coming from Bulgaria, which is like a country part of European Union, but deeply down in the Balkan South, and having big problems with government corruptions, with political corruptions, with complete like stealing public money in a way. Maybe I'm exaggerating. So your decision to go abstract is because this common good economy, it's an abstract notion for you living in such a society as Bulgaria is.
That's a nice take, maybe deep in my... No, to me was, you know, because of course, first, you know, as an animator and director, when somebody tells you, do you want to do a commission on this new economy model? They're like, okay, what exactly? I think what I read and what I learned is all these, you know, not hierarchical, but kind of horizontal structures, all these that, you know, it shouldn't be so much about profit, but it should be more for the common good, for the people, and for the value. So this is also a very old concept that you can do, you know, with something which has a pattern, has a matrix, has a certain sort of restraint, then it breaks, and then new forms are created. Basically, that's my script. Mm-hmm. But then I waited for some beats from the composer, and as she composed digitally, what she sent me is this graphic of her MIDI composition, which were really these blocks on the first part of the film, really arranged in patterns, then being pretty chaotic, and then a new forms, not so repetitive, were formed. So I kind of follow that and then drift along, you know, with the matrix, with the squares, basically with the frame and the substance, you know.
Okay, good. I think maybe I cannot not mention Oscar Fischinger, because it's kind of you know, when we talk about abstract animation, we always have to remind ourselves that it's in a way the start of cinema history, or really early stage of it, where everything, I mean, it's still, when I watch at him, it's still amazing what he managed to do without computer at all. But for you, when you thought about, you went back also with referential thoughts to the history of abstract animation, or not at all?
Yes, of course, and McLaren, and, you know, I've watched the films of all. I mean, I don't in particularly followed or looked at any particular, but I think as soon as you say, you know, I leave myself, because abstract is not that easy, because as soon as you start building up abstract forms, they always remind you of something. So our mind cannot stay very much abstract, you know. We always tend to grasp and to kind of read some kind of a story. But for me, I mean, I hope that I'll make more films, not like that, better, but, you know, in the abstract direction.
Good. Thank you, Vessela.
Thank you.
We move to Vuk Palibrk. And I will read the bio. Born in 1987, Vuk currently lives in Belgrade, Serbia. He graduated in 2011 with a degree in illustration and book design from the Faculty of Applied Arts in Belgrade. He also works on his own short comics, animated films, and animated shorts in various formats, which are regularly published online. So, Vuk, you are a very talented illustrator and drawing artist, beside being an animator. Your film was made in a form of a surreal animated diary. Have you found all those funny characters and their surreal situations in your real sketchbooks? And also, my question is one of the characters yourself?
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. It's a complicated question. Well, I guess I was basically drawing myself. I don't know. I didn't really use sketchbook that much, and the whole film was made like really from day to day. When I started doing the animation, I didn't have any. I didn't know how it's going to finish, or I didn't have any like idea at the beginning, like how would it look at the end. And the main idea was just to start drawing basically a diary in animated form, and to do it, I don't know, every week or every few days, to just to catch any impression, I don't know, of what happened, what I was thinking or something. So yeah, I just I had my computer with me, and then I just when I do something else, I make a break, and then I sit, I do this animation for half an hour, and then I continue to do something else. And then over time, those animations were growing and growing, and somehow it became this movie.
Okay, so no references from real sketchbooks, no like following a real diary, but just your imagination flow going free, trying to do it on a regular basis, but not looking back or searching for some characters, just what you came up with.
Yeah,
okay.
at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think your drawing lost anything being made in a 2D computer animation? Why didn't you just made it in a traditional drawing technique? Because maybe it will be much stronger. Okay, it would be more difficult than to scan, and it will take a longer time, but...
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is the main reason why, yeah, because I would have to scan the drawings, and then it would take much more time to animate, and I was doing everything on my own. I was animating everything, so I didn't have any assistance or anything. And I don't know. I mean, usually I'm drawing a lot on a computer with a tablet, and to be honest, I think I'm getting sick of that because yeah, I mean, for me, it's just no matter how good a computer you have or a tablet or anything, somehow you can never have like this. You can never make the mistakes that you make when you're drawing by hand, and I think those mistakes are what is precious about drawing. So yeah, I think I don't know, if I had more time or more people helping me, I would make this movie all drawn by hand. But yeah, I mean, in this way, it's also I hope you cannot it doesn't show too much that it's a computer drawing.
Chris, does it show?
No. And I figured you took it from a journal. I think we're all, after all this is over, we're all going to just go to analog and throw out our devices. I think we're all sick of this. But what point in this process, doing your weekly, at what point did you say, okay, here's a film, it's ready?
Well, let me think.
You have 10 minutes, so.
Yeah.
And the film is long, 10 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. Basically, I had a lot of these short animations, like much more than I put in a movie. So I don't know.
That was my next question.
Yeah, I could. I did that for about 1 year, maybe. I was doing those animations, not really every day. I took some breaks for, I don't know, a few weeks, but I don't know, after a while I just decided, I could do this forever. And at what point it became like, I don't know, I just felt that it became enough for me to draw. And at that moment I just started combining the material that I had and playing with those with animations, playing with the I don't know, the meaning of them, and so yeah, I guess that is the answer.
So how much was left over? I assume you could make a whole other film or two out of the material that's.
No, but maybe
No?
if I put everything inside, it would be, I don't know, 15 minutes, and that would be like too much. And also I had a lot of sometimes when I had an idea for this short how do you call it, skit or whatever, I just sit and make a fast animatic or just like a rough animation. So a bunch of those animations that were not put in the film, they just stayed at that level of just a raw animatic. And so
And how much of I guess you go through your computer to find the segments that'll work, but then you take them and you expand on them some more? You didn't just keep them in their original.
Yeah. Well, it's basically as if I had a real sketchbook, and I don't know, you carry that sketchbook with you everywhere you go. I don't know, you travel in a bus or something, and then somehow some idea pops up in your head. You write it really fast, that idea, and then you fill your sketchbook with a bunch of like really fast croquis and the sketches, and then after like 1 month, when you take a look at this sketchbook, you know like what every sketch means, even though it's like very nobody would understand it if they saw it from the side. But so that's the way how I did this also, like a bunch of really fast sketches, animated, really fast animations. And yeah, I don't know, then in my head somehow that made sense after a few months of drawing.
Yeah, sorry, we have 5 more minutes, and actually no questions from the followers. I think it's 20 plus following us live now. This will be recorded as well, and it could be watched until the end of the festival. But look, there are not only nice and great and beautiful drawings in the film, but there is also like some parts of text. Even maybe we can call it haiku text, or like some explanation. When does the text came in? After all the drawings were put together, or like you had text lines written while you were drawing as well?
Yeah, I think it was mostly after I finished, like after when I started like deciding what to put where, then that idea came up came up in my mind to incorporate also these small sentences, and I don't know. Basically, those are some things like, for example, I mean, I know it sounds like strange, but I mostly hate drawing for other people. And you know, when you have a friend who asks you, "Hey, you're doing comics. I have a good idea for a comic. You just have to draw it. I have the whole story, everything. You just have to draw it." So that happens to me like always, you know, and I just, you know, hate drawing by others' ideas, and I mean, I guess every, I don't know, artist can relate to this feeling. So that's something that I don't know, somehow it felt right to put it as a, you know, a diary sentence, like, and yeah, yeah, that's an example of one sentence.
But you did collaborated with this American musician living in Serbia, Katie Wozniacki. That was the only actual collaboration. So she, you know her very good, and probably she just made this music for you for free, or?
Yeah, she's a good friend of mine. She's very talented. She's also doing drawings, and she's a musician. You can find Katie Wozniacki. You can Google her, and yeah, she. I mean, no, she didn't do it for free, of course, but she's somehow, the two of us, we know each other for a very long time, and I don't know. It's like when you share the same kind of humor with someone, you know, same things are, you find the same things funny, even though you don't have to talk about something, you know something is funny when you interact with someone. So that is the kind of relationship that we have. And so in this movie, we didn't have much trouble collaborating on this movie together. So
okay, so just understand, Studio Gojko is your home studio, if I'm not wrong, and you got some financial support for the film from the state, from the
from
center.
the Serbian Film Center.
Okay, and Studio Gojko is your own studio, right?
No, it is a friend of mine who is this is his the first time he did this kind of film. Usually he's doing like, how do you say, he's making musical videos, those kind of things. But this is the first time he does. He helped me make an animated film.
Okay, Chris, do you want to ask Vuk something about masturbation or not?
I wanted to ask about the ending quickly. I know we're out of time, but because that was quite surprising, and you said I think you said you struggled to find an ending to this, but how did you settle on this, and have you ever tasted it?
Have I what? Sorry.
Snot.
The ending with the...
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the film, but yeah.
The ending, but I don't know. It's I don't really know I tasted.
Let's relieve Vuk from those heavy questions at the end. Well, Chris, your timer was not working properly, or we didn't hear nothing. So
no, we were following it, so it stopped. We were
so let's back to the full picture. Everybody's still with us. Chino, Marko, Vessela, and Vuk. I think we did it. Probably, yeah. We could talk a lot more with everybody of yours. But is there something that we forgot that you think it's really important to be added? Each of you? No. Okay. So, Marko, Marko, you want to say something?
Yeah, I would like to say just that I can see that you, Igor, are very adapt to this situation of lockdown, because it's a really good program on this AnimatekaPRO. Actually, you can draw, you can work, animate, and whatever, and just watch the festival for the whole day. It's amazing. I must say that. I don't know if somebody also say it already, but yeah, go for it.
Yeah, but we are really looking forward to.
Let's not get used to it.
Yes,
Of course.
let's not get used to it, because otherwise it will become too easy for us organizing it, and then it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, this part of the year we should be all in Ljubljana.
Hey, let's hope. For me, it's the most important thing is that your films should be screened on a big screen with a proper sound. And nowadays, like with this, like everybody is watching it through the phone, through the computer, and okay, some people have their own home cinema, but still, even this is not the right thing. The colors they're not right, the sound is not right, but at least you made those films, and the festivals, we are there to show them. And I could not imagine to skip 1 year and then struggling like the next one with a few thousand entries more. So this would be just a suicide for a festival programmer, right, Chris? Okay, so we came to the end of this second day of the live streams. We are working fast, so the festival is going on Sunday. We will have the award giving ceremony, so I hope to see some of you there as well. We don't know yet, and I will not reveal any, not Zoom live any results yet, but hopefully see you everybody on Sunday, and the festival goes on until Wednesday. So it's so nice to see you and to talk to you even in this way, but still like from the heart to your hearts. And thank you, Chris, for being an excellent co-host again, and see you tomorrow. The Ljubljana Animateka studio is saying good night to the world. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.